So he wanted me to explain as to what is the intrinsic value. uh, Friends, remember, among all the methodologies which are available for the purpose of valuation of a business or or a security or a company, the most popular of all the methods that we have, two of them are one is market quotation, and second is the intrinsic value. Now, market quotation, please remember, will be applicable only in case of an entity which is listed on a stock exchange or which is listed on stock market. So, but the intrinsic value as a method is universally applicable. Universally applicable. And please remember, of all the methods that that we have for finding out the valuation, intrinsic value is the most relevant in my view. And what is intrinsic value? What is its relationship with the discounted cash flow? I am sure many times you must have heard of this term called discounted cash flow. So what is discounted cash flow? uh, Of course, I'm going to discuss this, when we come to the topic of approach and methodology. But just to just to give you a little bit of uh, pre-idea as to what is intrinsic value. See, please remember, as we discussed yesterday, what is value? Value is worth of an asset. What is valuation? Valuation is to find out the value of an asset. Why do we need valuation? We need valuation because we want to take a decision. So obviously, my focus is where? My focus is in finding out worth of an asset. So what can be worth of an asset? And please pay attention, it's very simple, nothing very complex. What can be the worth of an asset? The worth of an asset is equal to the benefits that I am going to get from this asset over its life. So if I aggregate all those benefits and put them together, that becomes my value of that asset. So what is intrinsic value? What is the benefit? Remember, the benefit has to be converted into tangible number. So what is the benefit? Benefit is the profit that you will earn from the asset. So what do you do? The profit, that is cash that you will generate from that asset over its life, becomes the benefit that you will get. Now please remember, as we discussed yesterday, the money's value changes with the passage of time. So if I have got 100 rupees in my hand today, the value of this 100 rupees is more than the same 100 rupees that I will have in my hand 1 year down the line, 2 year down the line, 3 years down the line, and things like that. So what I need to do, I need to convert the cash flow, the future cash flow, in terms of present value. And we will discuss that, we will learn it with the help of an example in today's session. So I will need to convert these future cash flows in terms of present value. And why do I convert the future cash flows in terms of present value? Because that makes apple to apple comparison possible. That makes apple to apple comparison possible. So then when I do this, and when I and how do I convert the future cash flows in terms of present value? We saw it yesterday, by discounting. So when I discount all the future cash flows And future cash flows meaning the benefit which I am going to get from this asset. So when I discount all the future cash flows, I get a total of the present value of those future cash flows. So this present value of the future cash flows is equal to the intrinsic value. So in simple words, Puneet, if I can put it, intrinsic value is nothing but total of present value of all the future cash flows that you will derive from an asset. That is intrinsic value. How do you find out the intrinsic value? All of you please remember, we will be doing it much in detail as we move forward. But for this, at this point in time, how do you find out the intrinsic value in case of an asset? You find out the intrinsic value of an asset by using the discounted cash flow. So what is present value, friends? Present value is nothing but discounted cash flow. So that is why it is also known as DCF method, discounted cash flow method. In my view, DCF is the most authentic method of valuation, so long as you are doing the future forecasting of financial projections correctly. That means when you are projecting the future of an entity and you are being realistic, you're not being over optimistic, you're not being pessimistic, you're being realistic. So if you forecast the future of an entity, or if you make the projected cash flow of an entity on a realistic basis, based on that, you will be able to find the real intrinsic value of an entity. So Puneet, I hope this answers your question.
Yes, sir, perfectly, 100%.
Okay,
Absolutely.
very good, very nice, good, very good. Okay, anybody else? Any question from anyone
Sir,
else? Yeah.
yes, sir, I have one question, sir. I have one question.
Yes, Ankit.
Yeah, sir. Sir, yesterday you gave an example of in a fair market value. One example, 10% of volume of a shares traded in one listed company.
Right.
Like, so sir, that example, please repeat. I was not able to understand fully that example, sir.
Okay. So Ankit, as I was saying little while ago, two of the most common methods used for the purpose of valuation for an entity which is a going concern. These two methods are, one is market quote and second is the intrinsic value. Market quote, remember, can be applicable only in case of an entity which is listed on a stock exchange. So if an entity is not listed on a stock exchange, obviously the market quote cannot be the basis of its valuation. So the other universal method, of course, when you are doing valuation of an unlisted entity, you will always find out a comparable company, but that becomes it brings little more subjectivity into it. So in case if you are doing valuation of a company which is listed on a stock exchange, as per the SEBI guidelines, the valuation of this company can be determined based on the market quoted price. SEBI regulation have given certain formulas as to how many weeks, low and high, 26 weeks, 52 weeks, 2 months. So different situations, different parameters have been given by SEBI for using market quote as the basis for determining value of a company. But it says that in case, or that it says that for a market quote to become basis for valuation, more than 10% of the outstanding shares of this company should have been traded on a stock exchange in last 12 months. Then only, as per the SEBI regulations, you can use market quote for the purpose of valuation. So in case if
So what do you mean by 10% of outstanding shares? Outstanding shares means?
okay, that means if a company has got total number of issued shares, issued subscribed issued shares, total number is let's say 1 crore. So that means at least 10 lakh shares must have been traded in last 12 months on the stock market. Now,
Okay,
okay,
thank you.
now I will also give you one more input since we are on the topic. In case if an entity is listed in more than one stock exchange, and remember, the market code on the two exchanges can be different, not can be different, invariably will be different. There will always be some difference. Then the question will arise which stock exchange to take into account, and there also SEBI guidelines have given the answer. So the stock exchange where the quantity of shares traded are more than the other, so the one which has got highest trading, that stock market quote will be taken into account for the purpose of valuation. So does it answer your question, Ankit?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
very
Thank you.
good. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Can you share some problems so we can do it on our own and learn and update the
Sir,
code?
Yeah, okay. Yes, Devang.
बंद कर दो. Sir, sir, if 10% shares are not trading in last 12 months, it means we will not take a market value. We will consider it as an unlisted company.
No. The company will remain listed in any case, but you will
The
have to use
company will remain a listed entity, but
you will
the
have to use
valuation.
you will have to use discounted cash flow.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You will have to use discounted cash flow. All right, friends. So I think now. Hello.
Financial statement analysis presentation.
Yes,
Sir,
Surya.
are we audible?
Oh yes, you are very much audible, Surya.
Yeah. You have shown one slide stating that compounded rate annuity, but I'm not exactly remembering the slide, but I need some explanation which I'm not very clear in this particular presentation.
Okay.
Yesterday they have covered that.
Okay. Can you tell me which slide was that?
No. In the two financial statement analysis.
Uh-huh.
You touched that, then we did some problem.
All right.
Because it is there in your today presentation,
In
which
to-
you covered yesterday.
I see. Okay. What I can suggest is if you can just WhatsApp me, referring as to which slide you are talking about. I will cover
When you
that.
go to slideshow here, sir, whatever the today presentation.
Actually, what I have done, Surya, now the slide pack will start only for the session of today. So the yesterday's slides have been locked actually. So I will not be able to open at this point in time.
Okay.
But not to worry.
Sir, you have not shared, sir, the yesterday practical examples which you have shared in the last 45 minutes.
Yes, Ankit, very good. So, as a system, what we do, once a topic I have covered completely, then I will share that slide pack with all of you. So, the one that we were doing yesterday, we are still continuing with it. Hopefully, we will finish it today. So once we finish it today, I will put it on the group for the benefit of all of you. So all the exercises that we did yesterday, you will get them in today's slide pack. All right. Okay, Ankit, is that fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, definitely.
Okay. Good. Very good. All right, friends. So welcome back to the session once again. And Surya, just drop me, just write me 2 lines and referring to which slide. I will certainly ensure that your query is satisfied and answered to your.
No issues, sir. No issues, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely no problem, sir. No problem.
Perfect.
Sir. Go ahead, please.
All right.
We are very comfortable. Please go ahead, sir.
Fantastic. Very good, friends. So welcome back to the session once again, and let's continue. So what are we going to learn? Friends, this slide I am going to show to you every time when we start the session. And why will we start this slide every time when we start a session every day? That is because, remember, passing this exam is a mind game. is a mind game. So passing this exam will of course depend on your preparation, but it will also depend as to how you are able to handle this exam when you are writing sitting in front of the computer. So remember, our mind is a bad master, but an extremely useful servant. Let us use him accordingly for our benefit. Friends, this is what I want. So what I want in this program